Hello and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support our show, please use our Amazon affiliate link below. Today I'm going to show you how to grow sweet potato vines indoors. They are a lot of fun. I have one here growing already, you'll see, and it's looking good. It's greener leaf than the ones we're going to be planting today, which have more of a red leaf, a burgundy leaf. So it just depends on the type of sweet potato that you get. So, but you can see how pretty this is, and it's going to continue to grow. It's got new vines coming out, new leaves coming out. It's really a fun, very fun plant to grow indoors. Okay, so how to do this is really simple. So first of all, you do need the plants like these guys to be sending out the leaves, basically. So that where the eyes on the potato are, once they start to send out stems and leaves, usually a lot of times people will throw them away at that point, but this is a perfect opportunity for you to plant them and have a beautiful plant that will keep growing for several months before it finishes doing so. So do save your old sweet potatoes when they go bad before you can get to use them. And now we've got here this one, another one you can see here. So lots of good stuff coming out of that. You do need them to begin sprouting like this. They don't necessarily have to get this long of stems, but they do need some stem because of the way that they grow for you when you do this, when you plant them this way. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut off the potato, leaving some potato, which actually provides some nutrients to the plant on at that point, and then we're going to put the stem down because there are leaf nodes as well as, and they also serve as stem nodes along the stem here, and they're little bumps in the stem, and they're the parts where there's new leaves coming out. So that is where, when those parts lay on the soil, they will begin to grow and grow more stems for you and more vines for you, and the plant will grow. So you're not actually creating roots with the potato itself, that potato part. You are creating roots with the stems themselves. So here you can see up close, if you look closely, you can see here that we had the original potato here, because this one was planted a couple months ago or so, at least a month ago. The potato has deteriorated as the plant grew. So that is how they grow. So we are going to go ahead now and do the procedure on at least one of these guys here. So I have a container ready. I did get a bigger container and a wider container because I'm going to try to put more. In this case, it was just one sweet potato with one, eye that had been growing, and these have more than that. So I want more opportunities for the stems to be able to hit soil, so that's why the bigger pot. It's not a real deep pot. You don't need, they're not very deeply rooted, but you do want it to be wider if possible, if you have a lot of stem there. And then you can do smaller pots, you could do several smaller pots, whatever you want. You can put them in different round pots, whatever works. You do want to fill it up. This is moist, pre-moistened soil already. You always want to pre-moisten soil before you plant. So I've got it there nicely. You can do that a few times so that you can settle the soil nicely. But you do want the soil up not much more than 1/8 of an inch, probably, and 1/4 of an inch max, down around the lip, because you want to get contact for the stems so that they can start growing. Okay, so we've got the pot ready to go. Now, I'm going to choose one here. I'm going to choose one that has not only a lot of nodes along the stem, which they all do, however, also, this one's a little loose, which isn't the end of the world, but I like this one because it has a lot, it's laying down easily. This one's laying down a lot, but I think this one will work well. So I'm going to cut out, move this one out of the way. I'm going to cut out this portion, do like for starters, I'm going to do a kind of a V shape. Actually, I'm going to cut off, well, keep it at a V, do a V, okay? And that gives it a nice base, because as mentioned, you aren't trying to create roots here, you're trying to give this a nice, steady, firm base to be able to put it into the pot. So now, I'm going to insert it and turn it so that I can get as much stem in contact with the soil as possible, pushing it down in, and then we've got this one side one, but you may have to reposition if you don't like what you've done here and it's not working out too well. So I'm going to do that over here so it's both of them carefully, that you don't pull out the whole stem out of the potato, because it does need the moisture from the potato and the nutrients. Okay, so we've got several, 4, 5, 6 nodes, and then on this one as well, there's another one has potential here as well, hitting. I'm going to put more soil on top. You don't necessarily have to bury it, but the more you put on top, the more nodes are going to hit, make contact, and then potentially grow. But like I said, you don't necessarily want it totally buried, because it's going to start growing, leaves are going to start coming out of the stem, so you don't want them having to come through soil. That won't work as well. But you do want that contact of the stem with the soil. So another way to ensure that is to use something like pins, hair pins, and you can put it down and slide it into the soil, and that's going to keep it in contact with the soil very nicely. You can see how that's going on there, see? And what will happen is the roots will start to form here, and then these guys will start to create a lot more leaves for you. So it is nice that these are already long, because it's going to start out, once it starts sending out leaves, to be very lush and full. So this one here too, I'm going to take another hairpin, a smaller hairpin for that one, and put it in here. Sometimes you can get 2 for the price of 1 here. So I'm putting that in, and I've got it for both there. So that's a lot of good contact there. Now I can put another one over here, is what I was planning on doing by having this bigger pot. So I'm going to choose. So I can look at this, and like mentioned, this one is a little loose already, so I'm not sure. I could use it, but then it could become looser and not take, because it's not getting any moisture before it creates roots from the mother potato. So I'm going to chuck this off as a loss, because it has gotten loose, and choose from another one. I can choose from this one, and especially it'd be nice to make this a very full and lush pot once it gets going. So I am going to take this guy. I'll save this little one here that seems to be still okay for a smaller pot. So once again, now this one has, as you can see, a choice of 2. There's 2 chances here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it off and leaving both of those on, trying to be careful that I don't mess up this one's attachment to its potato. Okay, so there we go. So we've got that there, You don't necessarily want to cut off the top of the potato, but you can if you need to. I think I'm going to. Actually, I'm not going to. So I'm going to keep it, because there's so many stems coming out of this, I'll keep it moistened until it starts to create a new rooting system. Okay, so we've got that there. This guy can actually be twisted around the outside here. So you get creative in terms of how you are getting those plants to stay in there. Probably will need more clips. I have one more I'm going to use on this one that I'm twisting around the outside. So you can see the more contact, the better with the soil. And another thing you can do to get even more roots going is you can take off. So for instance, I'm going to take off this leaf here. Once I take it off, I clip it off here, pinch it off. You might have to clip. I'll clip it later. I don't have clippers available now. I will clip it off, and what will happen when I clip off that stem is there will be a leaf node, which is also a root node, and then it will become a root node at that point, and then that will start creating roots at that point for the plant as well. So lots of opportunities here for the plant to take hold with the leaf, aka root nodes, start creating roots, and then start putting off. It does have pretty little leaves, as you can see now, but these will get nice and big and beautiful like this plant once the roots really get going and the plant starts filling in. Once you're done pushing all the pins in, getting the stems touching the soil, then you do want to make sure to water. So you would water carefully and very thoroughly. So you make sure to moisten the soil some more, moisten those stems. That will activate the plant stems to start creating roots and then start growing your really pretty vines. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And please check the bell when we release new videos so you can be notified.